What if the more you chase her, the more she runs because she knows she already owns you? That one text you just sent, she read it, smiled, put her phone down, and went on with her day like you were nothing. Meanwhile, you're glued to your screen, replaying the silence, wondering what you did wrong. But here's the truth. You didn't lose her because you weren't enough. You lost her because you made her your oxygen, and no one respects air they don't have to fight to breathe. This video is your wake-up call. Your heartbreak isn't your ending, it's your beginning. Right now you have two choices. Keep texting her, keep bleeding out your dignity, or go dark, go silent, go stoic. Because nothing rattles a woman more than a man who vanishes not out of pain, but out of power. And when you do that, when you stop chasing, stop explaining, stop begging, something incredible happens. She starts to wonder. She starts to feel what you felt, the emptiness, the doubt, the craving for closure that never comes. This isn't about revenge. This is about resurrection. This is how men are reborn. Welcome to Stoic Blessing. If you're done begging for breadcrumbs, if you're ready to become the storm, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence speaks louder than my pain. Number 1, stop texting her. You're feeding the fire. Every text you send her is a confession. You still have me, and she knows it. She reads it, smirks, and goes on with her life. You're holding your breath waiting for a reply. She's holding power. The second you hit send, you gave it away. And you do it over and over again, not realizing you're making her feel like the sun while you orbit around her like a lost moon. But here's the truth. Real power never begs for attention. It makes people earn it. You think your messages show love, but they scream attachment. You think your honesty will win her back, but she doesn't want to feel needed. She wants to feel drawn. That's the difference. Needy is repelling. Mysterious is magnetic. Every hey you send, every I just wanted to check in is another brick in the wall she's building between you. She's not ignoring you by accident. She's watching how far you'll bend. And as long as you keep texting, she knows she still has a grip on your mind. That's not love. That's leverage. You want the dynamic to change? Detach. Stop explaining yourself. Stop fighting for closure. Stop writing essays to someone who barely gives you one-word replies. Let silence do what your words never could. When a man goes silent, a woman listens differently. She starts rereading the last message. She starts wondering why you stopped. Was it someone else? Did you stop caring? Did you move on? That's when the roles reverse. That's when the power tilts. Stoicism isn't silence out of spite. It's silence out of self-respect. A stoic man doesn't chase comfort. He becomes it. And the moment you cut off the endless texting, she feels the absence. Not because of what you said, but because of what you didn't. She's not used to that. Most men chase. Most men beg. You're about to be different. Number 2, she's not the prize, you are. You made her the center of your world. You gave her the title of the one. You treated her like the prize, like something you had to win. But here's the brutal truth. The second you pedestal a woman, she starts looking down on you. She doesn't respect what's too available. She doesn't value what she didn't have to earn. And the moment you make her your purpose, you lose your power. Think about it. When you treat her like the end goal, what does that make you? The one chasing, the one doubting, the one reacting. But the stoic man never makes anyone else the mission. He is the mission. You're not the satellite, you're the gravity. She revolves around you, but only when you stop giving her all your light for free. Dark psychology teaches one thing very clearly. Perceived value determines behavior. The person with higher perceived value sets the terms, and the person chasing always holds less of it. You want her to regret walking away. You want her to feel the loss. Then stop acting like she's rare. Stop acting like she's the best you'll ever have. That's not confidence. That's emotional poverty. The real shift happens when you realize you are the prize. Your time, your energy, your attention, your future. These are gifts, not obligations. A high-value man doesn't convince anyone to stay. He gives them the chance to be part of his world. And if they walk, he doesn't chase, he upgrades. The moment you stop seeing her as the destination, your energy changes. You stand taller, speak less, move cleaner. You don't flinch at her silence because you've got options, direction, purpose. And that scares her, because now she's no longer being worshipped. She's being evaluated, and that's when the dynamic flips. Number 3, detachment is power. Indifference is magnetic. She expected a reaction, tears, rage, a flood of texts asking why. But all she got was silence. And that silence, that's what messes with her. Because when a man detaches, not out of spite but out of clarity, it hits different. Indifference is louder than anger. It says, I don't need you to feel whole anymore. And nothing is more unsettling to someone who thought they had you wrapped around their finger. Attachment is her playground. She knows how to handle a man who's emotional, needy, always checking in. She's seen that movie before, but a man who pulls back, who shows no signs of obsession, who treats her like just another chapter, not the whole story, that man becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability, that's power. Dark Psychology 101. People chase what they don't fully understand. If she can't decode you, she can't control you. And when she can't control you, she starts to spiral. She replays your last words. She stalks your stories. She wonders why you're suddenly calm. And that mental loop, that obsession, is born from your detachment. But detachment doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop reacting. It means you see her game, but you don't play it. You don't send angry paragraphs. You don't beg for explanations. You observe, you accept, you move. That's the Stoic response. Emotion without display, pain without performance. You're not cold, you're composed. And that's terrifying to someone who expected you to crumble. Indifference doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care more about your peace than her presence. You choose your dignity over her confusion. And the moment she senses that shift, the ground under her starts to crack. Because now you're not chasing her. You're disappearing into a version of yourself she can't reach. That's how you become the ghost she can't stop thinking about. Number 4, reverse the chase. Pull back to create tension. At first, she loved the attention, the constant validation, the comfort of knowing you'd always be there, no matter how distant or cold she acted. But here's the secret nobody tells you: certainty kills desire. When she knows you'll keep showing up no matter what, she stops valuing your presence. And the more you chase, the more she runs. That's not love, that's imbalance. And imbalance breeds contempt. But watch what happens when you reverse the chase. When you stop calling, stop texting, stop showing up in her DMs like a lost dog looking for scraps. At first, she won't believe it. She'll assume it's a game. But as the silence stretches, doubt creeps in. Why isn't he reaching out? Did he find someone else? Did I lose him for real? That tension, that's the space where attraction grows. That's the spark you couldn't ignite when you were always available. Women respond to shifts in energy more than declarations of love. You don't need to tell her anything. You just need to move different. Pull back. Let her feel what life is like without your constant pursuit. You're not punishing her. You're rebalancing the dynamic. You're teaching her that your attention is earned, not owed. Stoicism teaches you to retreat with strength, not weakness. This isn't passive aggression, it's discipline. You're not reacting, you're refocusing. You're letting her come to terms with the reality she created. Losing a man who once gave everything but finally chose himself. Pulling back doesn't make you a coward, it makes you a strategist. Because when you stop running toward her, you give her only 2 choices: chase or disappear. And if she doesn't chase, you now know exactly where you stood. But if she does, you just made her feel the weight of your absence. That's when the regret begins. Number 5, master emotional alchemy. Turn pain into power. She left. And it broke you. The nights got quiet, but your mind got loud. The silence wasn't peaceful, it was punishment. But here's the thing, pain is raw energy, it's pure fuel, and you can either let it consume you, or you can use it to become something she never saw coming. That's the art of emotional alchemy, turning heartbreak into heat, into hunger, into power. Most men try to numb it. They drink, scroll, text someone else, anything to distract from the sting. But a Stoic doesn't run from the pain. He invites it in, studies it, learns from it, because he knows pain is a messenger, and the message is simple. You were giving too much to someone who gave too little. That's not weakness, that's misdirection. And now, it's time to redirect it into something unstoppable. Start training, get stronger, mentally, physically, spiritually. Read more, sleep better, stack wins. Because the best revenge isn't revenge, it's reinvention. And when she hears about you months later, leveled up, unbothered, focused, that's when the regret hits. She didn't just lose a man, she lost the version of you she never had the patience to wait for. Pain shows you where you were relying on someone else for your peace. Power is building that peace from the inside. When you stop needing her to feel whole, you start becoming dangerous in the best way. Because now you don't seek closure, you create your own. You don't wait for an apology, you outgrow the person who owed it. Alchemy isn't magic, it's mindset. You stop seeing yourself as broken and start seeing yourself as being forged. Every tear, every unanswered message, every sleepless night, it all becomes part of the build. And the moment you rise from it, you stop being the victim. You become the storm. Number 6. Rebuild in silence. The glow up she never sees coming. She expected you to fall apart, to become bitter, lost, desperate for closure. But here's where you flip the script. You don't scream, you don't vent, you don't broadcast your pain across every platform. You go quiet, you go dark. You vanish into the lab, because real transformation doesn't make noise, it builds pressure, and one day it erupts. Your glow-up doesn't need to be loud, it needs to be undeniable. While she's out chasing attention, you're out building discipline. You're in the gym turning rage into muscle. You're on your grind stacking skills, stacking paper, stacking wins. You're reading, meditating, leveling up in silence. And you post nothing, not to hide, but to starve her of access. Because the less she knows, the more she wonders. And wondering leads to stalking. Stalking leads to curiosity. And curiosity, that's the beginning of regret. Stoicism doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care strategically. You don't let the world see you broken. You let them witness your rebirth. But only when the work is done. She doesn't get front row seats to your rebuild. She gave that up. Now she has to hear about it secondhand. From friends, from photos, from whispers of how you've changed. And that's what haunts her, the version of you that finally woke up. Silence is your sanctuary. You're not proving anything. You're preparing. And when you emerge, sharper, colder, wiser, people won't recognize you. That's the goal. You don't want to be the same. You want to be unreachable to the person who once had access to everything. This glow-up isn't for revenge. It's for respect, yours, because once you see what you're capable of in solitude, you'll never beg for connection again. Number 7. Live like she doesn't exist. Kill the illusion. She isn't haunting you, your attachment to her idea is. The illusion you built in your head of who she was, how it was supposed to feel, what it could have been. That's what's keeping you stuck. You're not addicted to her. You're addicted to the fantasy. And the most powerful thing you can do now, kill it. Not slowly, not with excuses. Kill it fast, cold, final. Live like she doesn't exist. Not out of hatred, but out of liberation. She's not the soulmate. She's the lesson. The mirror that showed you what parts of yourself were still unhealed. And once the mirror's broken, you don't keep staring into the shards. You walk away. You stop checking her page. You stop replaying the good times that were filled with red flags you ignored. You stop romanticizing what was clearly rooted in imbalance. The Stoic man doesn't mourn illusions. He burns them down to build truth. You want to forget her? Then stop talking about her. Stop stalking her. Stop imagining fake scenarios where she comes back. She's not coming back the way you want, and that's your blessing, because the man who lives like she's irrelevant becomes untouchable. He's not cold, he's clear. He's not heartless, he's focused. And that kind of energy is lethal to the one who thought they broke you. Dark psychology says, remove the stimulus and the obsession dies. She's the stimulus. Your brain's been looping through the same patterns: hope, disappointment, repeat, break it, no contact, no stalking, no wishing. You treat her like a stranger because that's what she is now. Not because you hate her, but because you love yourself more. The day you stop reacting to her name is the day you reclaim your peace. When she no longer occupies mental real estate, she loses her power. And that's when you truly win, not because she's watching, but because you're not. Number 8, break her illusion of control. You were the storm. She thought she had you figured out, thought she could ghost you, breadcrumb you, ignore you, and you'd still come running. And for a while, she was right. You made it easy. You gave her control without her ever earning it. But now, that version of you is gone, erased, and what's left in its place is a man she never prepared for. A man who doesn't flinch, doesn't chase, doesn't care what she thinks anymore. That's the storm. Not loud, not messy, just inevitable. You break her illusion of control by taking back yours. You stop playing her game and start writing your own rules. No more double texting, no more waiting by your phone, no more giving energy to someone who weaponized your love. You go cold, you go calculated, and suddenly she's the one left in limbo. The silence that once tortured you, now it's hers. The obsession, now she feels it. The confusion, now it's flipped. Here's what hits her the hardest. It's not that you left. It's that you stopped caring without closure, that you didn't explain yourself, that you didn't need her to validate your growth, that one day she just stopped being important, and no tantrum, no attention-seeking post, no "I miss you" text will reverse it. Because now she's the one unsure, and nothing crushes ego faster than being forgotten by the one who once adored you. Stoic men don't retaliate. They rise. They don't play power games. They remove themselves from the board entirely. That's the move she never saw coming, because she thought your silence was weakness. Nope. It was the sound of you sharpening your edge. And by the time she realizes she never had real control, you're already gone. Number 9, she comes crawling back. Now what? She ghosted you, ignored you, watched your heart bleed while she stayed cold. But now she's back. That "Hey stranger" text, that sudden follow on your new account, the accidental like on a 6-month-old post. She's testing the waters, fishing for access. Why? Because your silence created a void, and that void became louder than any message you ever sent. Now she's crawling back, not out of love, but confusion. She needs to know if she still owns a piece of you. But here's where most men fail. They let her in, too fast, too easy, like nothing happened. But a Stoic man doesn't open doors to the past. He doesn't reward disrespect with access. He doesn't forget the nights he waited for replies that never came. She's not coming back because she changed. She's coming back because you did, because the old version of you, the one she took for granted, is dead. And now she wants to see if the new you still bends the same. So what do? You stay grounded, calm, cool, indifferent. You don't ignore her to get a reaction. You acknowledge her from a distance with zero investment. You don't seek closure, a restart, or even revenge. You've evolved past needing any of it. That's what drives her crazy. Because now you're unpredictable. She can't pull your strings anymore. And that's what truly breaks her. Not your silence, but your indifference after the silence. Remember, coming back isn't proof of love. It's proof of loss. She felt your absence. And now she wants to taste your energy again. But energy is currency, and she's already overdrafted. You don't owe her anything. Not your attention, not your kindness, not your time. You've moved on, not just physically, but emotionally. And when she realizes she can't access the man she once knew, that's when regret becomes her only companion. Number 10. Stoic Ascension, the man who doesn't flinch. You've felt the pain, you've sat in the silence, you've stared into the void of what could have been, but you didn't break, you didn't beg, you built, you evolved. And now, you've stepped into the final form, the man who doesn't flinch, not at silence, not at rejection, not at the sound of her name, because you've detached from the outcome, you've mastered your emotions, you've become everything she thought you couldn't. This is Stoic Ascension. You're no longer a man who reacts, you're a man who chooses. You choose discipline over desire, purpose over pettiness, strength over sorrow. You walk into every room like you don't need a damn thing from anyone, and that energy, it shifts everything. Because you don't move for approval, you move for progress. The man who doesn't flinch is dangerous, not because he's violent, but because he's calm when everyone else panics. He's silent when others beg. He walks away while others plead for closure. He lets the world spin and never loses his center. That's what Stoicism breeds, not apathy, but invincibility. The kind of power no one can manipulate, not her, not anyone. She sees it now, the strength in your silence, the weight in your presence. She remembers how easily she dismissed you, and now regrets it every time she sees your name, your photo, your shadow in someone else's success. But you don't even blink, because you're not chasing what left. You're attracting what aligns. You're no longer trying to be the man she wanted. You're becoming the man you needed to be all along, solid, focused, unshaken. That's Stoic Ascension. And once you reach this level, you don't fall back. You don't negotiate your worth. You never lower your value to fit into someone else's comfort zone. You stand tall, alone if necessary, because a man who doesn't flinch never loses. This wasn't just a heartbreak. It was a reset, a reckoning, a chance to stop being the man who chases and start being the man who chooses. You didn't lose her. You lost the illusion. And what you gained, that's the real prize. Silence, strength, clarity, power. You were never meant to stay broken. You were meant to rise, sharper, colder, better. Everything she thought would destroy you became the blueprint for your evolution. Your pain became your edge. Your silence became your strategy. Your detachment became your freedom. Now you walk with purpose. You move with weight. You don't text. You don't chase. You attract by being too focused to be desperate, too grounded to be shaken, and too valuable to be ignored. This channel isn't for the weak. It's for the men building themselves in silence. It's for the ones who've been betrayed, dismissed, abandoned, and chose not to fold. It's for you. You're not here by accident. You're here because something inside you refuses to stay down. This is your community. This is your power. And this is your reminder. You are not broken. You're becoming. If you're done being defined by what left and ready to become unforgettable, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. She left a boy. She'll never reach the man. Thanks for watching Stoic Blessing. Stay silent, stay solid, stay unstoppable.